there, this is Adam Jones at the Wolf Rock Boat Company. This is a bit of a different video. It's one I've been threatening for a while, but I'm in one of the workshops and I'm with Andy Head, who's the services manager here at the Wolf Rock Boat Company. How are you, Andy?
Very good, thank you.
All good?
Yes, thank you.
Good, been busy?
Very busy.
Good, right, so this is a 350 duoprop that looks a little bit different to how we usually see one of the 350 duoprops. And Andy and the team are just doing some work on this engine, so I wanted to get Andy to explain exactly what is going on here, because I have absolutely no idea. So talk us through what's going on at the moment.
Okay. Well, this is our 350, 4.3 litre naturally aspirated Suzuki 350. She's running quad cams, so she's a 32 valve engine. It's a pretty clever engine. It's pretty clever. It's got everything going on that a modern engine would expect with lean burn and also variable valve timing. Very clever motors. But what we have to do with these engines when we service them is we maintain everything within inside the engine. So with the service kits we get, we have to change the oils, plugs, we do filters, we do internal anodes. And this video is quite a good tutorial actually, because we've just removed one of the internal anodes on this engine. And what it comes with a series of internal anodes that sit in the exhaust jackets of these engines. And this is one of them. So we pop that out, you see there's an internal anode on that. But you can have a look inside and you just give you an idea of the volume of salt that builds up with inside these engines.
Look at that.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? That is literally mostly sediment salt. Some sand sometimes, it depends on where you use the boat, obviously application of that. But either way, we have to clear these waterways out. We clear them completely out inside, and our kits come with brand new internal anodes and O-rings with the kit. Before doing this though, I've already changed the plugs on this engine. It's obviously a 6-cylinder engine, so we changed the plugs. It's quite a bit of just a little bit of engineering of taking everything apart in order to gain access to that, which is easy to do. When we service one of these motors, you can see over here, we've got the gearbox off too.
Let's have a little look at that while
gearbox here. So this is obviously the counter rotation duoprop gearbox. The kit comes pretty comprehensively with everything you'd need. We got the bag of the gear that comes with this engine, and you can see it comes with an impeller, a cup, a plate, all the gaskets and seals and everything you'd need in order to service this engine, okay, which is great. So when we take apart these water pumps, effectively all we're left is there's the plastic housing and the bolts in order to bolt and fix it down. It's quite comprehensive.
Yeah.
The impellers are solid. I mean, they, if I'm honest, they probably last quite a few years, but with the Suzuki schedule that we have, you have to make sure that this is serviced and changed every 100 hours or annually. Then definitely you're never ever going to have a failure from one of these water pumps.
Yeah.
We change the gear oil. With these specific gearboxes, they are actually set up so you refill them at a degree angle.
Right,
so
okay. We
physically have to set the engine at a certain angle in order to fill this oil. And there's a certain procedure that we go through. They take 3.2 litres of gear oil, this Generation 1 gearbox.
Wow.
So they've since brought out a Generation 2 gearbox, which is actually a different ratio, not the same ratio, I think, but it's just a slightly different internals, slightly different bed of water pickups, possibly different gearbox oils and seals and everything. But still, these older gearboxes are still as solid as the newer ones. So.
And in terms of servicing, when you've got the duoprop versus, say, on my 90 horsepower, obviously everything's bigger.
It's just bigger.
Yeah,
bigger and more volume. Right. The technology that goes into the servicing is quite simple. It's still the same.
Yeah.
When it goes into the technology of the actual gearbox housing itself and everything that goes into the ratios and the way they're set up, that is very different.
Yeah, of
Obviously,
course.
it's a counter-rotation gearbox. There's a lot going on inside there.
Yeah.
But essentially, though, there is bulletproof as these smaller gearboxes. They really are. They can handle the power. 350 horsepower is a lot. These things will literally, two of these engines will sit an Eagle 10 31-foot rib on its end, on its nose, and accelerate like a car.
Yeah,
and they're quite incredible.
Yeah.
I mean that's
awesome.
that's the gearbox. Obviously, when we put these back together, we check the internal shaft bearings, and we grease everything as it should be.
Yeah.
Everything should be greased. Everything should go back together with a series, almost a bit of artwork to me. I like to call it art. There's a lot of a thought that goes into servicing one of these engines.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, the thing is, for me, is I'm that classic boater that likes to use my boat, and then I've got no idea how any of this stuff works. And I've been saying it for a long time with the Wolf Rock. It's about having that expertise in house, and go out, enjoy your boat, know that it's perfectly serviced when it leaves, and make sure you come back and keep it serviced throughout the season. And that's the expertise that we have, and Andy and the team here are able to obviously service engines, but if something in this was to go pop, then...
Yeah, so Suzuki are pretty good. I mean, the only thing is with Suzuki, obviously, is they require the 100-hour servicing works to keep the warranties up.
Yeah.
If that isn't scheduled correctly, or it's not seen to be done in the proper way, Suzuki will question that, and obviously they will ask why.
Yeah.
But otherwise, generally, if there's a mechanical failure and the thing's been fully serviced all the way through, and there's never been a fault prior to that, Suzuki would generally be able to look after you with regards to their warranties. That's why we want to tick the boxes and make sure things are done right.
Yeah.
Things that aren't covered under warranties are like fuels. If fuels goes off, for example, if your petrol has been left and the engine hasn't been serviced pre-winterization. This is what I like to do. I like to winterize, service, then winterize these engines to make sure that they are put to bed, as it were.
Yeah.
But basically, we want to make sure that the fuel is conditioned.
Yeah,
that fuel
absolutely.
has to be stabilized. It has to be good fuel. I mean, we would require really people to be putting the E5 fuel in instead of the E10 fuel at the end of the season. Use E10 all you can. These engines specifically are set up to run on E10 petrols.
Yeah.
Because of the hydroscopicness, that's a word, of the methanol-based fuels that they are bringing out in fuel pump stations now.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you stabilise that fuel so it's got a better shelf life, so it lasts longer.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's what I recommend people to do. End of the season, try and get E5 in there, get that better or higher octane petrol. We can dose it with a fuel stabilizer, which we put into the fuel prior to, which is dosed to the correct volume of fuel that's within the tank.
Yep.
And then obviously we run the engine up in order to draw that fuel through into the engine to make sure that then it's winterized with injectors, fuel systems with a stabilized fuel.
Yep.
So when you go to the pre-season or the middle of the summer next year, you turn that key, boom, it goes.
Yeah, that turnkey opportunity, be able to get out on the water and go. And I think...
Put a hose to it.
Yeah.
Boom, and you can run it up prior to in your garage, make sure your batteries are right, make sure your electrics are working, make sure it's trimming correctly, boom, start and off you go, and then take it down to the water and use your boat.
Yeah, which is what we want to do. We want to have fun on the water. So if you're out there at the moment, you've used your boat this season, then you need to look at getting a service and winterization process started now. Don't leave it till further down the line. Try and get it done early for all of the reasons that Andy said. Like I said, we have the expertise in-house here at the Wolf Rock Boat Company. Get in contact with the office. They'll put you in contact with Andy and the team and get any of your engine issues looked at now. Get it serviced, get it put away for the winter and ready to turn that key come next season. We'll speak to you guys very soon. All right.